Teofimo Lopez has achieved incredible milestones in his young career. The 26-year-old unified lightweight world titles against pound-for-pound great Vasily Lomachenko in 2020. Then, after moving up to junior welterweight, he defeated former undisputed champion Josh Taylor in 2023 to capture the lineal crown in a second division. But his world title trajectory began as early as 2019, when, at only 22, he stepped up to challenge reigning IBF lightweight world champion Richard Commey. On this episode of The Blueprint, we'll take a closer look at how Teofimo Lopez's timing of his opponent's offense and his centerline awareness produced a sensational second-round technical knockout victory against Richard Commey. Before the fight, Commey was coming off 4 stoppage wins, including one in the second round over Isa Chiniev to capture the title, and another in the 8th versus Raimundo Beltran to defend it. With a record of 29-2 with 26 KOs, Commey boasted an 84% knockout ratio, while Teofimo, who was undefeated with 14 wins and 11 knockouts, had a 79% finish rate. Commey had more than twice the number of total fights than Teofimo, giving him a significant advantage in terms of pro experience. And while Teofimo is 10 years younger than Commey, the defending champion enjoyed a 1-inch height advantage and a 2.5-inch reach advantage. These details are important to remember as Teofimo takes the center of the ring right after the opening bell, brimming with confidence. He jabs both up and down to mix things up immediately. The speed differential is clear from the beginning, as he is able to step in for a jab and step back out before Commey can fire back. This aggressive forward and backward movement makes him vulnerable, and it is while he is coming forward that Commey throws a straight right hand for the first time. Teofimo makes a small mistake here by stepping in with the jab before properly gauging his distance, so Commey slips to the right to avoid it before coming back with a right hand. Immediately after, Teofimo pivots to avoid more punches, but Commey lands another right hand. Teofimo's constant movement takes some of the steam off, but it's clear by now that he'll need to adjust as he is sometimes throwing jabs without carefully anticipating the counter right hand. After this, he continues to come forward, but he does so in a way that is more conscious of the right hand. He does this by mostly staying outside of range between exchanges and by using the shoulder roll stance, with the low left hand that is meant to invite additional right hands from Commey. The low left hand presents a tempting target that few fighters can resist throwing at, so an astute practitioner of the shoulder roll stance does that in order to fire back when a right hand is thrown. Here we see Teofimo keeping his distance and using the shoulder roll stance. He isn't stepping forward with his punches. He's mostly touching Commey because the goal is to get him to do the work of stepping in. Then Commey attempts the right hand and Teofimo fires back with the right of his own. Commey begins by throwing the jab. Teofimo extends his right glove to block it, but Commey actually throws it to the body. And it's because Teofimo has his left arm across his body that he is able to block it either way. Then Commey unleashes the right. Teofimo rolls with it, which both deflects the right hand and permits Commey to get full extension on his shot. This leaves him in a compromised position without even hitting his target, allowing Teofimo to capitalize by countering with a short right hand. By this point, Teofimo has begun to time the right hand, and this gives him confidence as he starts to step forward again by landing a leaping left hook followed by consecutive right hands. Then, when Commey tries to fire back with a jab to the body followed by a right to the head, Teofimo returns with another counter, but this time it's an uppercut. Again, though Commey throws fewer than 10 right hands in the opening round, Teofimo has found his rhythm and he has already timed it. This is important because, aside from enabling him to counter immediately, he's also getting a sense of how it crosses the center line. In previous episodes of The Blueprint, we've noted that the center line is a straight line between the aggressor and his target, where a majority of the offense to the head takes place. So, because Teofimo has begun to time the right hand, he's also getting a sense of when and where Commey's right hand is crossing the center line. This will be important in round 2. For the most part, Teofimo keeps his distance during the final seconds of the opening round, but he now has enough information to start doing some serious damage.
Time! Measured first round.
Yep.
From both men.
Yep.
In the second round, Commey is more aggressive. Here, Teofimo slips to the inside to avoid a right hand. Commey then continues by pressing forward with the jab, while Teofimo maintains his distance to anticipate the right as he did in the previous round. Commey is still careful and is mostly jabbing, while Teofimo throws a variety of left hands. Then, Teofimo connects a perfectly timed right hand that floors Commey. Now, there are a few things to take note of in this exchange. The first is that Commey typically set up his right hands with the jab. We saw him set up right hands in the opening round with the jab to the body, though he was countered. In this sequence, Commey looks like he's attempting a lead right hand without setting it up with the jab. And because the power hand originates from a farther distance than the jab, which is positioned in the back part of a traditional boxing stance, it can be easier to see it coming. So, given that Teofimo was already timing Commey's right, it was even easier for him to see it coming without it being set up with a jab. And before this exchange, Teofimo crouches down to create a diversion. This gets Commey to look down. Perhaps Commey was aiming a bit lower with the right hand, as he had done with prior jabs. And perhaps he was going to aim low in anticipation of Teofimo's constant crouching. We'll never know because before he can even reach the target, Teofimo steps slightly to his left to position himself for the right hand. This response is brilliant as he only has a few seconds to react to Commey's mistake by positioning his body to get the most power possible. How Teofimo connects the shot illustrates how to manipulate the center line. If you know that a right hand is coming down straight and you can time it, then all you need to do is lean to your left as if you are slipping or evading a punch. Do that while you position yourself for a right hand, and you'll connect while capitalizing on the forward momentum of your opponent's offense. So, Teofimo's timing of Commey's right hand, along with his speed and power, allow him to manipulate the center line in a way that creates a devastating shot. Commey returns to his feet and tries to recover, but all Teofimo needs is a quick flurry to end the fight and capture his first world title.
Right. Continuing with the punches, and it is over. Round 2, and Teofimo Lopez is the new IBF lightweight champion of the world. Wow.
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 Wow, wow, wow. Emphatically, wow.
My goodness, and he did it, and he had Commey's legs gone.
Gone.
Teofimo Lopez defends his junior welterweight world title against Steve Claggett on Saturday, June 29th, live on ESPN.